いよいよドリームキャストの発売だ。
セガタ三四郎は君たちの心に
セガサターンしろー。
真剣遊戯セガサターン。
Welcome to the Poor Man's Retro Game Room, and welcome to my latest pickup video. Man, I've had a good couple of weeks here on eBay and at the pawn shop as well. So not all the finds are from eBay. Some of them are out in the wild, and actually was able to have a pretty good couple weeks here. So one of the things that I've always wanted was a Japanese imported Sega Saturn, and I've always wanted to kind of get into the Nights into Dreams games. And I finally was able to track down some Nights into Dream games and Japanese Sega Saturn. So we're going to start the video off with some Sega Saturn goodness. Now, if you know anything about the Sega Saturn and the Nights into Dreams games, you also know that the Saturn came out with a 3D controller, and I wanted this. I wanted to play Nights with this, and found a deal, a package deal on eBay that came with not only the 3D controller, came with the Japanese console, and came with Nights into Dreams Christmas and the original Nights into Dreams. And there you go, both of those, the Japanese versions. And man, I looked at it, it was a good price anyway, and it also had make an offer. So I made an offer, and to my surprise, after a couple of offers and counter offers, the buyer accepted, and I actually was able to win that auction. So very cool. Love the 3D controller, man. Playing Nights with this controller is awesome. And if you look at the back here, you got your two, your triggers, and then all 6 buttons, and you have a little switch down here. It switches between your analog and your D-pad. Some other games other than Nights use the analog stick as well. I believe the Championship Circuit Daytona uses it, I believe. Yeah, check it, make sure. But anyway, yeah, it's cool, man. And you can see the origins right there of the Dreamcast controller. Doesn't that look? I mean, they shaped it down, made it pointed, and did some different things. But you can tell where the Dreamcast controller came from. And it's an excellent controller, man. And sometimes I'll just leave it plugged in and play regular Saturn games with it as well. It's just cool, man. But anyway, yeah, finally was able to pick up the Sega Saturn 3D controller, man. That's awesome. And very pumped about that. And of course, both the Nights games and Nights into Dreams, of course, that's an awesome game. And but I also got Nights into Dreams Christmas. And this is really cool, and from what I've read, I haven't got into this game that much yet, but I'm looking forward to playing it, and especially over the holidays. There's something cool about that. But it uses the date, and when it gets into the Christmas season, it starts, turning into Christmas in the game, I guess. And there's a few other milestones, I guess, that it'll read off that date and do, and it's just cool, man. It's just something really cool. It's just a fun game to put it in and just kind of let some of your worries and stuff just kind of flow away while you play it. It's a relaxing game. It's fun. It's easy to get into. So yeah, man, highly recommend the Nights into Dreams games, and I think the best way to play them, honestly, is on original hardware. And that'll bring me to the Japanese Sega Saturn that I had imported, and you can see, I mean, it's just in excellent condition. It really is. I felt really lucky to find one that's in that good a condition for that price. And as you notice, pull it out here, had a dongle in it, right? Well, that dongle goes to my new Sega Saturn wireless controller. And what I did was I was able to get it, and man, if you want one of these, check it out on Amazon. They're going for really cheap right now. But anyway, this dongle come with the wireless Retrobit Sega branded wireless controller, and this controller is awesome. It comes not only with the Sega Saturn dongle, it also comes with the USB dongle here, and that USB dongle, you can plug that into the Switch. You can use it on your PC. There's other compatible devices, I believe, that you can use it on as well. This is excellent, and I believe, man, I want to say that I got it for $29 off of Amazon. I don't know if that deal's still around, but it was when I pulled the trigger on it. And you can't beat that. You can't get a regular Sega Saturn wired controller for less than that. So, pretty pumped about that. Highly recommend it too. I've been using it, and it's a lot of fun, man. I highly recommend the Sega Saturn Retrobit wireless controllers. So, alright, so then that's my eBay finds. I went into the pawn shop, and they told me, hey, we got some PS1 games in. We thought you'd be interested in. And of course I was interested in them. So they take me over there and they show me, and I'm like, dang, man. And there's one game that's going to be a surprise. It'll be later on, but I put it on layaway. It was a little too much, and I had already bought 4 games. And I try to budget. I have a certain budget that I can spend on games every month, and I don't, I try not to go over it. My wife would tell you different, but I really do try to stick to it. One of the games that they had available there was Star Ocean, the second story. And I've never played a Star Ocean game ever. I've always wanted to. I've heard really cool things about it. I worked with a guy that just loved the series, man. And he was just telling me, oh, dude, you got to play the Star Ocean games, And so finally, Star Ocean, the second story. I've put about an hour into this, just getting started, getting rolling, and it's starting to hook me right now. This is cool. I really enjoyed just that first hour anyway. We'll see how the rest of the game goes, but looks very, very promising. And then a PS1 RPG that I did spend some time with but never finished and got rid of back in the day, and really kind of regretted it. Always wanted to play it, and always get an itch to play it too. It's Wild Arms. This was awesome, and I remember when this came out, it was a pretty big deal. A lot of people, I used to own a used retro game store, and a lot of people would come in and ask for Wild Arms when it was coming out. And it's a good game, man. It's a lot of fun. Kind of reminds me, I don't know, man. I know it's kind of an Old West setting, but kind of reminds me of Raiders of the Lost Ark, or that type of thing. Especially the intro does. But it's a lot of fun, man. It's a great game. Then another game that I really enjoyed was Alundra on the PS1, and this is Alundra 2, and I know that it doesn't follow closely to Alundra 1, and you don't even need to play Alundra 1 to play Alundra 2, of course. And it's different. I understand that. I didn't get, I bought it with my eyes open. I know what it is. And I want to try it because I have heard some good things. I've heard it's a good game in its own right. So I do want to try Alundra 2. Complete in box too, and really good. I mean, they gave me a great deal. And they took off a certain amount off of each one because I bought, a bundle. And then laid away the surprise game that will be on a later video, so stay tuned. But and then the last game here that I was able to pick up from the pawn shop, and man, I know I'm going to butcher this name, but it's Suikoden. But this is cool, man. This is an RPG published by Konami. Konami made this RPG. This one and Suikoden 2, which which is more expensive than the first one and more sought after. And I hear it's an awesome game, but I hear this one's a great game as well, and I'm really looking forward to playing it. It looks a bit different, has just kind of a different style maybe than the other RPGs. But man, that's cool, man. You just don't usually go into a pawn shop and find, you know, all these PS1 games, and for the price that they gave me. And then I put that surprise game on layaway, so stay tuned. Here in a couple weeks we'll hopefully be bringing that out in a new pickup video maybe. But anyway, there you go. Man, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Do you have any experience with any of these games? Do you have some nostalgia to any of these games that I picked up? Let me know. And let me know what your experiences are. Have you tried that Sega Saturn wireless controller or any of the Genesis wireless controllers? I have two of the Big 6 wireless Genesis controllers, and I absolutely love them, man. They're great. And they also work on, you know, you can use it on the Switch, and you can use it, you know, for your Genesis games on the Switch. So, pretty awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Let me know if you have any experience with any of these games, if you have played Nights into Dreams, if you have a Japanese imported Sega Saturn. I've got the North American console as well, but there's just something about that first gray Model 1 from Japan that's awesome. So, and I do remember seeing photos of it back in the day. So I've always kind of wanted it. Finally got that. Finally was able to scratch that itch. So there you go. Well, thank you very much for clicking on this video and joining me today. I sure appreciate it. And I want to thank the two members as well, Colin and Kiwi. Thank you guys for your membership and your support. And I just want to, just wish all of you guys to have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. And until next time, we'll catch you later. Thank you.